I'm going to walk you through how to do this assignment. I'm going to do the first one with you or for you and give you some ideas on the best way to look for important details and highlight key information regarding the innocence or guilt of Lizzie Borden. So remember, this is a fictitious journal about the Fall River trial. And this fictitious character was a jury member. His name was Mr. Strong. And he kept 10 entries of a journal while on the jury for Lizzie Borden. So in each of the entries, what you're going to do is look for important details and highlight information. Now, this information should not only be because he was guilty or innocent, but it can be other aspects. For example, in the very first journal, this is even before Mr. Strong is sitting before the jury, but yet there's some evidence in his journal that is noteworthy. So what you're going to do, one way that you can do this is read the journal. So Monday, June 5th, I hope that Frederick Jr. is up to running the mill for the next week or so I find myself called to do my civic duty as a juror. I'm surprised that my acquaintance with the deceased Mr. Borden did not disqualify me, but I suppose everyone worthy of being a juror would know a man as prominent in our community as Mr. Borden. So a couple of things that I would highlight here and I would consider noteworthy, and I'm just going to actually use my highlighter here, is the fact that he knew he was an acquaintance with the deceased Mr. Borden, with the father, and the fact that Mr. Borden was also a prominent man in the community. So once I highlight this, I'm going to make a note on why basically I highlighted these two pieces of information. First, and again, this doesn't have to be in complete sentences, but I'm going to write them in complete sentences. My acquaintance with the deceased Mr. Borden. It's noteworthy that Mr. Strong knew Mr. Borden. This can prejudice him against Lizzie. If he knew him, he was his acquaintance, then that could disqualify him, and it probably should have disqualified him from the jury. Also, it could prejudice him that he knew, I'm not sure as everybody did, he knew what happened. So he knew the trial, he knew the details, right? Which he shouldn't know. And the fact that Mr. Borden, he regarded Mr. Borden as prominent. So that suggests that Mr. Strong might be biased. So that's something to consider when I'm reading this journal and when I'm considering what his verdict is. Okay, so that is the way that you should be looking at each one of these journal entries. Remember, there's 10. And you should be highlighting or noting noteworthy pieces of information and then explain, like I did here, on why those pieces of evidence are noteworthy. So what you're going to do is analyze why those pieces of evidence would suggest guilt or innocence or just biased.